What is going on? I'm Zedmot. Season 78 of Warships is just days away. My sneak peek covered 98% of the topics, but I missed a couple things. So we are going to do some creator boost goodness. Thank you very much for all of your questions and comments. I went deep last time. We are going to go even deeper this time. So, the bunker. Notice that the bunker doesn't always have a range around it. That range is dependent on which troops are inside of it. And the funny thing here is that when you have tanks inside, the tanks don't actually shoot. And tanks don't fit in bunkers on the main base, but they can go in on warships. And you might be asking yourself, why would you put them in if they don't shoot? And the same thing goes for warriors. Warriors don't do anything until that bunker is destroyed, and when it is destroyed, they pop out and attack. So maybe, just maybe, that's why you want to sneak some tanks in there. Probably not. And if you have, say for example, a warrior and a Zuka in there, it's going to show whichever has the longest range, which of course will be Zuka's. One more quite strange thing is if we go over here and unlock those medic dudes, medics actually do fit in the bunker, and they do actually shoot, which is quite strange. Anyways, there's going to be a whole bunch of experimentation throughout the season as to which troops are best, but I had some questions from a bunch of people saying, like, can you show me warriors attacking engine rooms with grenadiers inside? Can you show me seekers? Can you show me heavies? And just to make it fair and make it so that I'm not helping just one task force or another, we are going to load this up and I'm going to show it to all of you all at once. So you'll notice that we've got some cryoneers to slow some things down. We've also got some cryoneers over there. We've got some grenadiers and some Zukas back there. And finally back here, we're going to go back into that tech tree just to be super duper thorough, and we are going to unlock and max laser rangers, because of course laser rangers could be very dangerous in there as well. So it's going to be tough to see which. You're going to see that, you see that, you're going to have to scroll down. There is a detail. I doubt everyone is going to unlock all of these things, but I really do wish that it just filtered out the two large things, because that would be more useful in my opinion. Now, there is no gold costs for these troops. You don't have gold on warships, so you don't have to pay to keep those troops in there. Don't worry about emptying your bunkers before you log out for the day. Now, with that done, we've got our bunkers loaded up. We are going to, first of all, talk about troop damage. Troop damage does affect your troops in the bunkers, so you're going to get more defense by getting more offense, and you're not going to get more offense by getting more defense, so don't worry about the building damage except for your other buildings. Odd, I know, it's frustrating. You're also going to get a little bit more health once your troops pop out, but that's not really a factor. Anyways, with that being said, let's jump on in and do some seekers versus other stuff. Okay, so we have got all seekers loaded. Quick note that you cannot shock the bunkers. Yes, you can shock everything around the bunkers, but you can't actually shock the bunkers. Now, our Kavan is only tick 1. Actually, no, I actually upgraded them, so we can use those ice shields. I'm not going to use them for this test, just to see how this goes. I would love to do this in half-times mode, but I don't think that's a realistic option. So in come our seekers, and notice those grenadiers and those laser rangers and the Zukas and all the rest, not really doing a heck of a lot of damage. So the seekers just absolutely ate through it. And then we're going to move on to heavies, and we are not going to use shocks, just to see how that goes. Now, obviously anyone... This is not going to be a perfect test because 130 troop damage isn't really accurate for before shocks, but we're just going to see if these guys can cut through. Notice that those cryoneers and laser rangers doing all sorts of damage, but our heavies, we have lost like 3 heavies so far. So if you're one of those people who was thinking we can finally stop seekers, we just need to throw our bunkers towards the back, not really. I mean, our heavies definitely got stopped at a decent amount. And then for the final test, let's get warriors going. We are going to use a super warrior. You know what? Let's just use warriors and smoke. We don't have to go super duper perfect, but we are going to flare onto that engine room. And we are not going to use... Actually, you know what? Let's just use shocks. Just to be super duper warrior dudes. Notice that our shocks don't do a heck of a lot against all of those bunkers. Our warriors are just getting absolutely eaten alive by those bunkers. So very, very, very dangerous. And then to finish things off, we are going to get these things over here. Notice that you can tell sort of what is in there just by clicking on them. We know something with some range, maybe a Zuka, don't know, is in there. And in this one, it doesn't say empty, but there's no range, so it's gotta be either a tank or a warrior. And then over here, same thing, slightly different range. So you can get a general idea what's in there, but really there's no way to tell. All you know is that middle one is not going to shoot, so we'll send our heavies towards that to start with, just so you can see some mechanics of how this is going to work with actual troops in there. And it's not just going to be a rush all the time, so I figured I'd show you how this is going to work. And then boom, out pops a tank. Now, can we flare that tank? It appears to be a bit of a problem. Maybe we can actually flare it, but it seems like I am not doing a very good job of it. That tank is now dead, and then on we go, and our troops are taking some form of damage. There's some sort of build troops in there. It's hard with heavies because their health is so high. I wanted close range, and then out come the Seekers. Yes, there are Seekers inside the bunker, and Seekers don't just attack engine rooms in this case. A little bit of a weird. Seekers actually will leave to shoot your heavies as your heavies walk towards that flag. So Seekers basically turn into critters-ish. A little bit of weirdness, and at least they're red so you can tell what's what, and Seekers are killing the heavies bit by little bit. So we're going to drop over here for our final test, and then as those things walk across, or run across, or whatever the heck you want to call it across, we were going to try to artillery them without any success, and then finally, just like on the main base, the troops that are inside that bunker, which are going to be shown in a second here, if we ever manage to destroy it, aren't really doing anything, even though there was range, which is very confusing until you see the fact that it was just a medic and a warrior. And the medics are basically useless. Strange. Like, are the medics, if we were to manage to get, I have one more test we need to do, so do stick around. So the obvious question in my mind is, why do we see range on that left-hand side bunker when it's only got medics in it? I think that I know the answer to this, and we're going to find out together. You guys probably already know exactly what I'm testing here, but just to be sure, we're going to run through it because I am genuinely curious. There's a couple heavies in this middle bunker. I've changed it up a little bit, and then we're going to do a little bit of damage to those guys, and then we're going to run away, and we are going to run right past these bunkers because I want to see what... Hey, there we go. Come on back here, dudes. Let's get going back here. And are the... Look, that is fully ridiculous. The medics inside the bunker were actually healing the heavies outside the bunker. So you have to be darn near perfect by the looks of things, but you can see there that they are getting a little bit of healing. Not enough, but a little bit. And finally, we're going to go through the 3 squad leaders. Now, the ninja squad leader you've seen before or have likely seen before, just sneaky troop. Same as the hidden rifleman and hidden Zuka. Over here, though, we've got that Muka. Terrible name, but fantastic troop. These are going to be the bee's knees. And then on top of that, we've got this brand new leader who is very, very big boned. Just a Zuka, like all the others, has eaten well so she can take some additional hits and protect the others. Now, her perk, she does have a special attack and some stats. So if we have a look at that health, 9,500 health, and the range is long. So we're going to show you how that works after we look at an actual heavy. So she actually has more health than a regular one, a regular heavy, that is. So we are going to send these ladies, and we are going to use their squad flare once they get dropped. Come on, why can't I use... Oh, there we go. We're going to use your squad flare to send you back there. That, of course, is the biggest deal. Now, those medics that are hiding in there aren't going to do anything, obviously, because A, they can't see them, and B, they only heal their own troops. Then we are going to send out our, whatever the heck those ladies are called, the heavy fangirl. Now you'll notice that they go last, so we're gonna want to throw a smoke there, otherwise the Zukas are gonna move forwards and gonna die, so we need that heavy girl to go up front, and we're not gonna flare back because then these ladies would follow the regular flare, and now seems like she's doing a heck of a lot of damage. She is gonna stand in there and just absolutely blast through the heavies. So the Zuka fangirl, or the heavy fangirl, or whatever the heck is she's called, seems pretty darn great. And last but not least, these ladies right here are so ridiculously strong. They are basically bombardiers, but you get 12 of them or 13 of them, and that is a big, big deal, especially when you have, like, just look how far they're shooting. They are outranging mortars, for the most part, depending on where they stand, until, of course, they... Even with the leader dead, look, we cannot use that, but this entire group is set to be those mortar Zukas. They are outranging that mortar, and then we can use, of course, this right about here to throw all of them towards that final building, and squad leaders, so good. Anyways, that is the end of that. Squad leaders are not all that great on the main base, but with multiple engine rooms, they make for great fun, and then it's just a matter of how they're going to work with those bunkers. And thankfully, or sadly, depending on how you want to look at it, you can't throw squad leaders into your bunkers because that would just be ridiculously overpowered. So do consider throwing Zukas in your bunkers. Also consider throwing those Cryoneers, which you want to probably upgrade, plus scrolling down and getting those Laser Rangers. And just to do one more thing, of course, there are bombardiers as well, and you guys have probably seen all of these on the main base if you play the main base and actually encounter bunkers. But if we have a look here, you'll see that all of a sudden the range gets quite large with a bombardier inside. So do use the bunkers, do plan things out, because like I said, the fact that offense applies to defense and the fact that troops like the Cryoneers suddenly have more value makes this season one for the ages. Hopefully it's not a fizzle fest. A little bit worried it might be, but nonetheless, code ZMOT in that shop. I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. Sneak peek number dose. I'm ZMOT. Peace.